We have to reimagine safety and public safety in America. You know, the status quo has been to determine and create policy around the idea that more police equals more safety. And that's just wrong. We need to demilitarize police departments. So there's a lot in this conversation, but at its core, one of the issues that I think we should all agree on is that it is old thinking, it is outdated, and it is actually wrong and backward to think that more police officers will create more safety.
Yeah, that's old thinking. I wonder what Brandon has to say about this. Joining me now, host of the Officer Tatum Show, which is huge out there, my friend Brandon Tatum. Hey, Brandon, why are you so old in your thinking?
Well, I tell you what, I'd rather be old in my thinking and correct than be new in my thinking and dumb. I don't understand how any rational person thinks that less police officers make things more safe. You know, in the totality of, you know, what we're speaking of is that when you are in law enforcement or law enforcement agencies are available to proactively police, we see crime go down in a tremendous way. I remember when they used to do stop and frisk. People didn't like it. They felt they were targeting black people, but the crime was down and guns were off the streets. And when people have never served in law enforcement, they don't talk to any law enforcement officers. They don't really talk to citizens in the community. They say outlandish things like Kamala Harris. There's no way whatsoever that the math will math up to equate that less police officers will somehow make people more safe and get criminals off the streets.
Brandon, these people are trying the best they can now to try to back off that defund the police thing a little, but it's very obvious that's how the left thinks now. That's the Democrat position. It may not be politically popular in September right before an election, but that's how all these people think.
1,000%, Jesse. Look, listen, when someone says that we need less police, and also they talk about demilitarizing police, I'm going to keep it clean because I'm a good Christian man. This woman has no idea what she's talking about. If you had asked Kamala Harris, however you say her name, and any of these other progressives, what do they mean by demilitarizing police? Do you not want police to have weapons? Do you not want them to have body armor? Like, what militarization in policing that is available to law enforcement that you don't want them to have? When an active shooter occurs, do you not want them to have the adequate amount of equipment? When they're doing a search warrant on a dangerous criminal or potentially a terrorist, because we know that they're right here in the United States of America, Venezuelans are already taking over parts of Colorado. Do you not want them to be equipped? If a terrorist attack happened here in the States, the military don't respond to that. It's going to have to be local municipalities that respond to these threats. Do you not want them to have AR-15s? Do you not want them to have the advantage? These people are so disingenuous because they are behind walls and gates and guarded communities, and they're protected by Capitol Police and also other tactical law enforcement officers. Vice President Harris, she's protected by the Secret Service. That means she has security, armed, trained security 24 hours a day to make sure that she's safe. She's not going to get robbed in San Francisco. She's not going to get robbed in the south side of Chicago or in a drive-by shooting. These people do not understand what the everyday American is experiencing and what's necessary to protect and serve.
Brandon, do you think they don't understand, or do you think they really just genuinely enjoy burning this place down from behind their gates? I waver back and forth between they're completely naive and they're just malicious little demons who enjoy watching poor people suffer.
I think it's a combination of two things. I think some people may be genuine in their approach and they're just completely wrong. They're out of touch with reality. Look, if you've never been to an inner city community, you never lived in an inner city community, it's hard for you to really diagnose what's really going on there. And so some of these politicians are so out of touch because they've been politicians their whole life. They don't live a regular life. So they are just going off sound bites on what they think the people want to hear. Then you have those who are actually malicious. They hate America. They hate the idea of God, and they want to dismantle every single thing that we're made of. And in doing so, they want a ruling class and a peasant class. They want to be the people that consume all the money. They want to have all the wealth, have all the access to security and safety, and they want the peasants to be dependent on them forever. They don't want us to have guns. They don't want us to have autonomy. They want us to be under their thumb, like you see in communist China and other places like that. That's what they want as an end result in America, and that's what they're pushing for, slowly but surely.
Yeah, no doubt. This video, I'm sure you remember the video of the illegal kicking the cop when he's down in Times Square. God protect the NYPD. Well, now, Brandon, we're finding out they're really going to drop the hammer on this guy. He might get a year in jail and maybe deported. I don't know how anyone, why would you even be a big city cop anymore? I'd be out of there. I'd be on a plane to Florida tomorrow.
That's why I'm not a cop anymore, and I would never go back to law enforcement because, well, I would say I'll never go back to law enforcement in particular cities that don't care about their police officers. There are many cities around the country and many municipalities and counties that actually care about their police officers, and I'd say go there, travel there, lateral to those agencies because they respect and they care about you. NYPD, you can forget about it, man. If you're not in law enforcement because God has called you to do that, you shouldn't be in law enforcement because you're not going to get paid enough to deal with all this mess. Listen, if you come over here and you are an illegal alien, that should be an aggravated charge on top of the things that you do here. Just say that you're a prohibited possessor, meaning you're a convicted felon. If you get caught with a gun in your possession, that's an aggravated charge. If you are a sex offender and you do a crime related to sex offense, you're going to get an aggravated charge because you're already a registered sex offender. Why can't we have aggravated charges for illegal aliens being in this country? If you come to America and you're here illegally, you shouldn't be here. You already broke federal law. You come and kick a cop in the head, that you should get maximum penalty. I would argue that you should spend a lot of time in prison, or they should deport you immediately. But, and I will say this, the deportation is not as effective as imprisoning these people simply because they can just come back over here and reoffend.
Which they all do. All right, you covered this on your YouTube channel, but a lot of people haven't seen this yet. Take a look at this.
He said that he's already illegal. He already said that he went to...
Okay, hold on. Let's back up a little bit. First off, we're a sanctuary city. Even if he is legal here, we cannot call ICE and report him.
But you still have to report that, right?
No, we don't. Because it's a sanctuary city. We do not report illegal, undocumented.
So you're going to let a person who went to prison, he committed a crime in America, who's illegal right now, you're going to let him go free right now to this elevator?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Because we're a sanctuary city. I've arrested a double homicide suspect in this city before and let him walk out the door because we're a sanctuary city. We're not going to call ICE to come pick him up and deport him.
Brandon, what did he say?
I think that the department needs to investigate him as an officer immediately. If you can't, there's a lot of things going on here. First and foremost, this is an example of a rookie cop who's the one that's not speaking, and then a lazy cop who's the one that is speaking. I watched this entire video, and one thing that struck me in this video is that this particular officer was so encouraged or adamant about this sanctuary status type stuff that he didn't even do an investigation. If someone is illegally in this country, even if you're a sanctuary city, a sanctuary state, you still have to investigate a crime. Now, the crime that's alleged here is a federal crime across international lines. So a municipal cop can arrest, but they have to do an investigation to pass it over to the FBI. The cop didn't even run his name. Just because he's illegal in this country, he didn't even run his name. Listen, this cop didn't even know if the gentleman that's reporting this is even telling the truth about his illegal status. That guy could have been a citizen and just, promoting that he's illegal so people think that he can't be caught up. This guy may have a record. He may be wanted for murder. The cop didn't even run his name in the system according to what I saw in the video. This is a complete failure in law enforcement, a failure in policy. If a man is illegal in this country, we should be able to detain this person, do an investigation as to his status, because he may be wanted internationally for murder and all kind of other things. You can't just let these people go. In Arizona, we had SB 1070 and people were out crying in the streets and protesting. We had the ability to slightly profile, which means that we get in a traffic stop or something and we talk to a person and they can't speak English. They don't have citizenship. They cannot produce an ID. They tell us they're from Mexico or somewhere else and not the United States of America. We have a right to run their name through Border Patrol. And there's been plenty of times, Jesse, that I've run someone's name and come to find out they're wanted. They need to be taken into custody. They are wanted for all kind of crimes all over the world. And so this is an example of how these sanctuary states are just robbing the dignity of the American citizens to be safe and holding people accountable.
Brandon, I have to ask you before I let you go. Your YouTube channel has like 3.2 million subscribers. That's freaking enormous. How'd you do that? People want to grow their YouTube channel. What do they do? What's the Officer Tatum way?
The biggest thing is authenticity and consistency. I literally upload maybe 2 or 3, sometimes 5 videos a day, and I just keep them coming, man. I'm on this all day long, 24 hours a day. I'm passionate about what I do, and I'm authentic. I just keep it real. One thing that I'll tell people that want to build their social media platform is don't chase the followers. Be yourself, and people that are like-minded will follow you. That's how it works.
I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.